What's up guys, Rick at RallySport Direct, and today I'm going to be working on a project that I've been putting off for far too long. Our project WRX, it's the Twincharged WRX. It's obviously a turbo feeding a supercharger, they call it compound charging. Basically what happened was, we built the car for SEMA, and I'm sure in me putting it together, I rushed through some things. I didn't do it right. I've never done a compound setup before, but basically it just overboosts like crazy. So I want to get that fixed, but I figure if I'm going to have it up in the air, we might as well do a few other things. So I want to do suspension, we'll probably order some wheels and tires, and then just kind of clean up the car in general. Now, the problem is, it's not here behind me. I'm not even sure if it runs. It's over in our storage area. So let's go ahead and see if we can even get this car started. So there it is. I'm guessing this thing won't even run. So we brought our little POD jump pack. Daddy's girl, right? All right. So let's see if this thing has any juice at all. Nothing. All right. So we're gonna have to jump it. Sure we got power. Oh, it's a good sign. All right. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's alive. We're good. All right, so now we got to get this thing out and back into the shop. Do you ever do things to your car and you wonder why you did it? For example, we have a spacer here in the front and no spacer in the rear. I don't even remember doing that. All right, with the car up in the air, the first thing I want to do is take off the air ride suspension. Now, I'm not that stoked to take it off because one, it's going to be a pain. Two, it took me forever to install that. That was one of the harder suspension installs I've ever done. But we've got some really cool coilovers and some control arms that I'm going to show you here in just a minute, but let's go ahead and rip the suspension off. I don't know if you guys just saw that, but I just did a really dumb thing. So I already had loosened up the other side's top hat. I thought I had it secure. And so when I went to take off this side, the whole assembly dropped and it almost hit the concrete. Luckily, it was just high enough to avoid that, but that was a really dumb thing. So lesson learned, always undo these ones first. And then as you're taking off the top hat bolts, support the strut with your hand and then lower it down. I've done this 1,000 times. It was just one of those things where, just a lapse in judgment, made a mistake. Anyway, let's keep on it. That was a perfect time for that GoPro to fall. So here's where we're at. Something I didn't think about was the actual air tank itself, because I drilled all of these holes down in there, and so I'll have to figure out how to plug those up. Same with running air lines, everything like that. But at least this time, taking off the rear, I'm smart. I've got a jack underneath there, so when we take off these top nuts, it won't just fall and hit the ground. All right, let's get these things off. So we got the air ride off, and I'll deal with the electronics later because I have to take apart the interior. I spent way too much time putting it in, and I know it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle getting out, but this is what we're gonna be replacing the air ride with. This is ISC Street Sport coilovers. Now, the problem is that I don't really know what they sent me because they have two different versions of these coilovers. You've got their N1 and the basics, and I think the only difference is the basics don't have camber adjustable top hats where the N1s do. So let's see what they sent us here. But either way, I'm really excited. These are 32-way adjustable, monotube design. Oh, looks like they did send us the N1s. Thank you, ISC. So these particular coilovers are going to be honestly phenomenal. I'm really excited because we wanted to go with something a little bit more budget oriented, right? And these are gonna be absolutely perfect. These are like amazing sub $1,000 coilovers, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. Of course, you have independent height adjustment, aluminum locking rings. Like I said, 32-way adjustable. I think these can go as low as like 3 inches or something like that, so that you have a lot of height adjustability, and of course, camber plates on the top, and then the rear should be non-camber adjustable, of course, because we're multi-link rear suspension, and then it includes your spanner wrenches, looks like some grease. I assume that's for the threads for the collar, but really, really cool coilovers all around, so we're gonna get those installed, but they also sent us, something else. Check these out. Look at these. These things are gorgeous. These beautiful rear control arms. It's funny, I've been wanting to run a control arm like this, like a solid billet aluminum control arm, you know, nice turnbuckle adjustment in there. Of course, we've got the Cuscos on here now, which are fine. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. But we've run Cuscos on just about every project car we've had. And so I really wanted to try something different, and I'm so stoked that they sent these. I'll put a link in the description down below if you guys want to check out these coilovers or, you know, these control arms. But huge thanks to ISC. I mean, truly, they really hooked us up. So I'm excited to be running their products. It's funny, they actually came by and they're like, you guys are on air ride? It's like, yeah. And they're like, do you like it? I'm like, well, I mean, I like it. It's nice to be able to adjust the height and everything like that. And they're like, okay. You know, they're like, do you want some coilovers? I'm like, dude, if you guys can hook it up, I would love to install your coilovers. ISC's been one of those brands I've been interested in for a long time. I'm stoked we're carrying them. And then the fact that they're, you know, just really cool guys over there. They're super passionate about what they do, and I'm excited to be running these products. So huge thanks to them. And let's go ahead and get these installed. Officially installed. Look how sexy those things are. I am so pumped. I love that gold and black contrast that these have. So I don't know if you guys saw when I was installing these in the coilovers, obviously I was doing that by myself, and a lot of you at home might be doing it by yourself as well. So one helpful hint is install the arm loosely, and then you can actually put the coilover in, run the bolt through the coilover, lower the car down, and then use a jack to guide it up. And so we keep these loose so that you can spin, whoops, we keep these loose so that you can spin the upper portion there. Keep this all loose, and then once you get everything good, you go ahead and tighten it up. Another helpful hint on basically all WRX's 08 Plus, I believe they have this lip here. So if you're gonna make any adjustments to begin with pulling this side that way. And then that way, it gives you a little bit more room. Obviously, we didn't have enough that we could push this out, but you want this nut just to come past that lip right there. And that makes tightening these down and locking them and adjusting them significantly easier, because once you get these on, you can't move it out. With the turnbuckle, it's gonna space both of them out equally. And so it's a lot harder to get just the adjustment right there. But I'm really impressed with how awesome these things look. I'm sure picture and video don't do it justice, but we'll need to get these tightened down. I'll double check all of these, and then we'll move on to the front. The suspension is 100% done, and we're gonna get these wheels on. I'm super stoked to see what it looks like, because I basically set up the suspension as it is out of the box. Now, I made sure all the heights were equal left to right, but I just took it out of the box, made sure everything lined up, threw it on, and now we're gonna throw on the wheels. We're gonna see what it looks like. Also, I think I had an idea as to why the spacers were on the front. I think it's to clear the Brembos, so the wheels can clear the Brembos. I'm gonna throw the wheels on. I'm gonna see exactly how much spacing we have in there, and we'll see if that's true, but that might have been a reason why. But either way, let's see what this car looks like with these wheels back on. Dude, I love the way these coilovers sit, even right out of the box. It's a little bit, what would you call it? Where the top, or the front sits higher than the back. I'm tired. Anyway, also, we are running the spacer because of the brake caliper clearance, so that makes sense. And here's what we're gonna be doing next. So, basically, here's kind of what I'm thinking. I had a chance to think about this today. And so we have this spacer down here, right? I don't know if you guys can see that. And then the actual supercharger itself. I need a boost reference somewhere off the supercharger, because right now it's basically between the turbocharger itself sitting down there and the supercharger. And so the turbo wastegate is taking boost from here and determining what to do instead of from here. And basically boost is being fed into the supercharger and then boosted even more. You're taking pressurized air and pressurizing it even more. So we need a boost reference somewhere post supercharger. And I don't want to take the supercharger off. I really, really don't want to. It's a huge pain. So what I'm thinking is I can slip the little spacer out, that little silver spacer right there, and see if I can tap that. Or a really dumb idea would be to, these are just dummy injectors, because obviously the supercharger is from a FRS, which has injection, or excuse me, multi-port and direct injection, but I can drill out a hole in this injector and use my boost reference off of that. It's a really dumb idea, but if it works, it's not necessarily that dumb of an idea. I think I'll think about it some more tonight and see what I can come up with. But either way, we need to take off the turbo. I need to switch out wastegate springs, go to lower wastegate springs, and find some sort of boost reference here to see what we can figure out. Because basically, we just need to get boost under control. And then tomorrow, I'll also go over exactly what I did to make this kit work, because we've had a lot of questions about that as well. Well guys, that is it for this episode. I'm pretty pumped on what we got done today, considering I really didn't have a lot of time to work on the car, and I still want to edit this video tonight before I leave and get it hopefully up on YouTube tonight before I leave as well, because tomorrow I'm going to be working on the supercharger, the turbo, trying to get boost under control, trying to figure that system out. And honestly, it's trial and error. If you guys have any ideas of, maybe you're familiar with compound setups and you have any, hints or tips or tricks or something like that, that would be awesome. And also, if there's anything I can do to improve these videos, obviously this is a new format. I'm doing it 100% by myself. I'm from shooting to setting up the cameras to editing to working on the cars. If there's anything I can do to make it more enjoyable for you guys, if you have any suggestions, anything like that, please let me know. I would love to hear it, because I really want to make these videos, entertaining, educational, and just good videos. I'm stoked to be working on cars. I'm stoked to be working on the cars that I am working on, and hopefully you guys are stoked on the cars as well. So let me know. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I'll try to get this video out tonight, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.